Hey y'all, Chelsea and Danny here.
Enjoy this episode of Today's Homeowner here on YouTube.
Have you ever wanted just a little more room in your bedroom or bathroom? Well, that's what we're doing for these homeowners on this week's show.
Today's Homeowner with Danny Lipford. Real projects for real homeowners with real solutions. Information and inspiration on improving your home from professional remodeler Danny Lipford.
Even a small addition like this 8x25 can make a huge difference in the livability of a home, especially since we're adding on to the existing bedroom and bathroom. We'll look at the whole process in this week's show. And along the way, we'll see if we can't update a little of the 70s decor in this home. Welcome back to the show. Now, before we started any of the work on this addition, one of the first things we had to do is remove all of the bricks on the back wall of the house. And the guys did a great job in toothing out the original brick so that when the new bricks are in, is always our intention. Now, on the other side of this wall is a very small bedroom. It's only 12 by 13, so you can see what a difference it'll make by adding 8 feet to this end of the bedroom. Now, another thing we had to do before anything was started at all is to relocate an existing air conditioning system. We wanted to make sure the homeowners continued having air conditioning throughout the project. And we were lucky here in that we had enough flexibility in the condenser lines that we could actually lift the condenser unit and move it right over, right outside the form boards themselves. So they're able to keep going with that. And later on, the final location of this unit will be at the other end of the building. And once the framing is complete, we'll take this, route it up overhead, and it'll service that at that end. Now, that's a great tip to keep in mind when you're planning any type of addition. If you're able to relocate the condenser unit away from the patio area that we have here, it's always a lot better because the times you're using the patio are the times of the year that this will really be working. The noise can bother you after a while. Okay, once we were able to relocate that, then we started with all of our form boards. You can see the wood that we've used around here, including the 2x6 that's laying flat here. The reason for this is, first of all, our concrete will come up right up to this level and will allow a little indentation in the perimeter of the slab. The reason for that is the same reason the original house has it here, to serve as a brick ledge. The bricks will sit right on top of this, the stud wall right behind it, and with that inch and a half, you never have to worry about any moisture getting into the home. After all of the form boards were put up, we came back with some fill clay that later on will be raked out and packed out well after the plumber has completed all of his work. Now, I might mention that the footings we're using here, that the footings that we've dug are about 2 feet deep, 16 inches wide. It depends on what part of the country you're in as to how deep you actually need your footing. So make sure you're checking with your building inspection department in your particular town. Now, the plumber does have a lot of work, and the work on the existing bathroom is well underway. Inside, you can really tell why the homeowners needed to enlarge their master bathroom. It's only 5 feet by 8 feet, very small to today's standards, but it had the basic necessities. It had a lavatory over on this side. Then, on the other side of the little half wall, originally a 5-foot tub shower unit, and you can see the old toilet flange here where the toilet was positioned. Also, originally, this being the back wall, had a nice little 2-foot by 3-foot window here that gave it a little bit of light, maybe made it look a little bit larger, but still, 5 by 8 is a small master bathroom. Now, most of the day-to-day has been spent jackhammering a large trench in the floor in order to provide access to the water and drain lines that the plumber will tie onto and connect out onto the new area where we have several plumbing fixtures will be located. You can actually see some of the cast iron piping here, that's the drain lines that he'll be tying onto and routing out to the new area. You can also see the ugly avocado tile that the homeowners will be really glad when all of that's gone. We'll be replacing that later with a large white ceramic that'll really brighten the area up considerably. Now, another sign of the 70s, the old wallpaper here. Now, all of this will be removed because the drywall itself will be completely taken out to provide access to the walls where the electrician and a little extra insulation will go in this area as well. Now once the plumber completes his work, the inspections are taken care of, then we can pour all of the concrete in the new area as well as the trenched area. Then we'll be building the walls on the addition. Then this entire wall will be removed to open up the entire bathroom. Now once that's done, the new layout will allow for a nice whirlpool tub that'll be 6 feet long, a standalone shower that's 3 foot by 4 foot, a double bowl vanity, as well as a new toilet. Now after all that's completed, we'll be able to provide the type of bathroom the homeowners really want.
Get ready to review your fix-it list as Danny and home repair expert Joe Trewini show you this week's simple solution. Brought to you by DuPont Tyvek. Build it once, build it right.
One thing that a lot of our viewers like to hear, painting tips, especially those involving cleaning up after the project's done.
Well, you know, Danny, one of the most important things to remember when you're cleaning a brush is not to let it rest at the bottom of the can that you're cleaning the paint off in, because of course the bristles will become bent, and once they dry, you'll never get them to lay straight again.
That can really mess up a brush there.
Yeah, it renders it virtually useless after that. But one way that I've found that works really well is just take a piece of wire, this is a coat hanger, and cut a piece that's maybe 1 inch or 2 wider than the top of a coffee can.
Okay.
And then take a drill bit slightly larger than the diameter wire and drill a hole through the wooden handle of the brush.
Okay, I see where you're going with that.
Feed it through there. Here's another one I've got. And then you can just suspend them directly on the top of the can, and you can add or subtract the water or solvent to reach all of the bristles.
Okay, makes sense, kind of like a clothesline.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
That works really well. And here's another technique I like. This is a brand new brush I haven't even used yet, right out of the package. And I took a small panhead screw and just drove it into the wooden handle.
Okay.
And then after you get through painting and you want to clean up, just hang it right on the side of the can.
I see, that's great.
And once it's clean and dry, you can just rest it like that.
Okay, and I guess it's also important to make sure you put it back in the sheathing to really keep the form of the bristles.
Right, the bristles stay nice and straight after they dry.
Hey, our bedroom bathroom addition is really moving along smoothly. We've been able to complete all of the pouring of our concrete foundation. Also, all of our walls are completely framed, both inside and out. Roof structure, all complete. And our roofers have been out and completely removed all of the shingles off of the existing house and replaced all the new shingles all the way around. So we're nice and dried in. Even have our doors and windows in. Now inside, they're completing all the little bit of demolition that's left so that our electricians and plumbers will have plenty of room to run all of the plumbing lines and electrical lines. Also, we've completed all of the intricate framing that was necessary on our ceiling area with the installation of a horizontal beam to carry the load where our old back wall used to be. Well, all of that's been removed, it's all opened up, and the owners can really see just how much space they'll have with building this small addition. Now, this type of addition is very popular, as I mentioned earlier. And recently, we were out in San Diego, California, talking with fellow remodeler Steve Lusk about a project that's very similar to this. Well, Steve, I can certainly see where you'd have quite a challenge in adding on to the Spanish-style house.
Well, Danny, we do. It's a 1925 vintage home, and we're going to have to match this room addition to the original house, and hopefully it'll look like we were never here.
Well, you have the stucco, which is kind of unique in bringing it around, and also the roof situation. I see the barrel clay tile on top. What are you going to do on this addition?
Well, Danny, we'll match the barrel tile, but across this parapet wall, we'll lay the clay tile to the gingerbread corners, and then we'll wrap the corners with stucco to match the side, and that'll die into a flat roof, which is on the other side of the wall.
Okay, all right. And of course, inside we have a bedroom, bathroom, closet, and that type of thing on the inside. But what do we got here? It's kind of some strange looking framing you have.
Well, it's going to replicate the masonry wall on the other side. We'll plaster it, and it'll look just like the house, build a new gate, and it'll look like new.
Boy, those little features like that really keep the addition from looking like an addition. Should tie in real well. Let's take a look inside. Well, Steve, I see you have a few of the windows in. About how many square feet we have in the addition?
Danny, we've got about 600 square feet.
Okay. Well, Steve, right inside the door here, the little area, what is this?
Well, Danny, that's a small laundry. Homeowner's idea to have it close to the master suite.
Good idea.
Convenient. Here's a soaking tub. Walk-in shower with a glass enclosure.
Yeah, I see a little recessed area there.
That's a soap and bottle shelf for all their paraphernalia, and here's the toilet out of the way.
A lot of natural light here.
Yes, it's operable and right around the corner into the master bedroom.
Well, I see you've been able to work in a great sized closet in here for the homeowners.
Danny, they had to have it after so many years with no closet space at all.
Well, you took care of that. Now, obviously, the outside wall of the house originally.
Yes, this was a side wall, original lath and plaster. You can see it here. It's a great contrast with the new wall here to the side.
Yeah, and apparently old window. I guess you reused some of the windows here.
We're resetting that window to the new wall of the room addition.
Okay, access is always a situation that you want to handle carefully. Now, where does this lead?
This door is from an adjacent bedroom that will become the sitting room and part of this master suite. A great addition.
Okay, that sounds perfect. It's always hard to get that right access into the addition. Now, Steve, tell me about this, a solid wall inside the bedroom.
Indigenous to California, Danny, this is what we deal with for structural codes today, earthquake standards. This is it's called a shear wall. There's a continuous footing under this wall, and the attachment transfers through this solid wall all the way to the roof system. You can see this strap up here in the corner that ties the wall to the old part of the house.
Yeah, I saw a lot of the straps even on the outside wall. It appeared they came out from the actual foundation.
Correct, and they work in conjunction with this wall, and it's tied together as an envelope to keep it from hopping up and down in an earthquake or shearing from side pressure.
That kind of hurts the budget a little bit.
Money you don't see, buried in the wall.
Now let's join Danny at the Home Center to check out the best new products. Brought to you by the Home Depot.
The Home Center is just filled with all kinds of products to make your painting projects go a little easier around the home. Now, some of these gadgets work, some of them really don't. But if you have the same problem that many homeowners have in trying to either keep paint off of the trim or off of other areas of the wall, then I may have a gadget that's just right for you. It's called the Sherline Trim Line Edger. Now, it's kind of a funny looking thing here with a guide that swivels on one end of a 3-inch standard roller head. And what you do is you're able to take this, put it right down over a baseboard, and you're able to paint the wall above the baseboard without getting any paint on the baseboard, just like they're showing here. It's a real effective way of doing that. And here's some other ways that you can use this particular trim line edger. Where you have walls of one color and ceiling a different color, you can take care of that. Down the side of a door trim, window trim, as well as where you may be changing from one color to the other inside a particular room. Now, when you're ready to clean this actually flips up like that, allows you to remove the 3-inch roller, and you can wash it or discard it and put another one on. Then this clamps right back down. And as I mentioned, it swivels from side to side so that you can use it on either side of the room or flip it over to use it against the ceiling. And within this kit that costs less than $9, you get this, you get that, and you get the roller tray that's specifically designed for this size roller. And one other use, if you're having a little trouble finding the spatula in the kitchen, you can also flip the eggs with it. Our brick masons did a great job tying in our bricks from the addition into the house. Now, with just a little help from Mother Nature to allow the mortar to bleach out a bit, it'll really blend in. Now, this is the same goal Steve Lusk has out in San Diego with his Spanish-style addition, to really make it not look like an addition. Of course, he's dealing with stucco. That's a little harder than working with the bricks. Now, the homeowners obviously have a little project in mind for this weekend with a few shrubs they've purchased from the garden center that they plan on planting around the addition to really tie it into the house. Now, we have a little more electrical work to take care of here on the outside, including the mounting and wiring of the cutoff switch for the air conditioning condenser unit, and also a light here next to the door. Also, the painting is being finished up. And Gary, what do we have here? Oil or latex?
Latex.
Okay, and what about primer?
Well, a good exterior oil-based primer with 2 finished coats of acrylic.
Great, well, it's looking good. It won't be long before you'll be finished with this. But what about metal doors? What do you suggest on that?
Acrylic, latex, the manufacturer recommends that.
I see. Well, looks like it's working pretty good. Looks great.
Thanks.
On the inside of the addition, we're at the point where we're almost ready for floor covering. Now in the bedroom here, the homeowners have decided to go with a carpeted pad, and should be a fairly easy installation because our concrete guy did a great job in pouring the new concrete very even with the existing slab. Now this is so important even if you're talking about a pad and carpet, because sooner or later the traffic over this area will show right where the seam is. All our floor installer will have to do is just a little bit of floor patch along the seam and he'll be ready for that floor covering. Now our electrician's out on the job taking care of all of the trim out, both the electrical plugs and switches, and installing all the light fixtures and fans, and including a ceiling fan going up here in the bedroom. Also, the homeowners have ended up with some nice closets on this end of the room, both a kind of a his and her arrangement. And with the 8-foot that we added to this room, made such a difference in giving them a nice sized bedroom. They also ended up with a pretty nice bathroom. Seems like everybody wants a whirlpool in their master bath these days, and these homeowners have selected one that's 3 feet by 6 feet. It's a cultured marble material and has 6 different jets within the tub. Also, the marble guy did a great job in installing the splash around on the wall and even provided a little shelf here. It'd be perfect for some plants, maybe some shampoo, something like that. Over on the other side of the half wall, the plumber's in the process of installing the toilet. And in an alcove area like this, you need at least 36 inches in width to allow for enough room for the toilet itself. Also, they just completed most of the installation of the shower trim, and they have a little bracket that they'll be installing right along here after the homeowner gives them an idea of exactly where they want it. And this is a great little setup, you know, has the diverter here on the head itself to divert the water from either the shower head or to the shower wand. So it's a perfect setup for children using the shower or the elderly. Also, over on the other side, we have the lavatory faucets that have been installed, and all the trim on the faucets match. Now, another thing I like about the design of this bathroom, plenty of space. If you look down on the floor, you can see these tiles are 12-inch tiles, so we have 4 and a little bit more, so over 4.5 feet width between the vanity and the shower itself. So it really gives it a nice spacious feeling. And the window over there gives it some nice natural light within the bathroom. Well, this project's almost complete, and we'll see it next.
Now let's go outside for Around the Yard. Lawn and garden tips you can use straight from the experts. Brought to you by TimberTech Engineered Decking Systems. Less work, more life.
I'm with Dr. Trey Rogers, who's a turf expert. And Trey, most homeowners know that it's important to fertilize the yard properly to get a good, healthy yard, but what are some of the mistakes a lot of homeowners make?
Now, number one is that they put down too much fertilizer at one time.
So more is not better, huh?
Ooh, twice as much is twice as bad.
Okay. All right. How do you know really the right way to broadcast a good, even flow of fertilizer on a yard?
Well, I think the first thing you got to do is you turn your bag over and look, because right back here they're going to tell you what to set your spreader on. And my number one piece of advice is believe what they say here, because this has been years of research and testing that has gone into coming up with this.
Now, see, they mention a lot of different type of spreaders, rotary spreader, drop spreader. I've even seen a few of the old timers actually broadcasting it with their hands. What do you think's the best?
Well, I think that the best thing to do is to keep in mind you're trying to get a nice even spread. So I think the best thing a homeowner can use is the rotary spreader.
Okay. And you're able to actually use this much like the other spreaders, but it's able to get a more even broadcast out there.
Very user-friendly. Okay, you can divide the rate in half and go 2 different directions.
Okay.
Because really what you're trying to prevent is any skips. Because fertilizer doesn't lie when it's been missed.
Okay, now, do you recommend watering in fertilizer all the time, or what's the best time really to fertilize?
Well, read the label directions, but at the same time, I always love to fertilize right before it rains. And I always love to tell people, fertilize when the grass is actively growing, not when it's dormant.
As you can see, this project is complete and the homeowners have already moved in. Now, the spacious bedroom is exactly what they wanted, and they love the access to their backyard through the full view glass doors. Now, the new bathroom really fills the bill with the new 6-foot Whirlpool tub, his and her vanities, and the large custom shower with the versatile shower head and valve that we mentioned earlier. Now, the 12-inch ceramic tile that the homeowner selected really ties it all together. I'm glad you were with us this week. I'm Danny Lipford. Come back and see us next week.
Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Today's Homeowner. And don't forget to comment, like, and hit the bell icon so that we can notify you when new videos are posted.
And don't go anywhere, click around and continue the home improving fun.